Well, you'd think just looking out at the moment outside, you think it was going to be just a lovely sunny day today. You know, it looks like a beautiful sunrise. Just gone 6:30 in the morning, but already I can tell that the wind's picking up, and today it's supposed to be violent winds and rain. I wanted to get some jobs done. I will generate some electricity by the wind generator. That's one good thing, but apparently it's going to be pretty stormy later, so we'll see what happens. Luckily, a couple of days before, I had used a heat gun to strip down my cockpit seats and take the varnish off and re-varnish them, and I managed to do that before the rain came. So the wind came and the rain came, and I don't know whether you noticed in some of these shots, when the sun shines, just over there, look, these sort of little twisters formed on the water, little pockets of air that were spinning round, and you can see here the dinghy is almost blowing out of the water. It was rough for about a day and a half, and then the weather went back to normal. That's one thing about the weather. Eventually it will pass. But there was quite a bit of rocking around in the boat for about 24 hours. So after the last episode, I had to leave the boat for a while and go and do some work. So I was packing the boat up and I thought, right, I'm going to take the rudder off my hydrovane and put it away so it doesn't get a load of growth on it when I'm not here. So I went up to the back of the boat on my dinghy, and unfortunately the dinghy slammed into the back of the hydrovane rudder and burst the front of the dinghy, put a massive split across it. And I haven't had this dinghy I've only had it a year or something like that, and it was about 900 quid. So I was like, oh shit, I'm never going to be able to fix this. Anyway, I packed up the boat and the dinghy and took it with me. And luckily I found someone who said they have a go at fixing it. And that's exactly what they did. It was split from seam to seam. So he said, I don't think I'm going to be able to fix it. And I was a bit disheartened. I said, well, I've just bought this. It's pretty new and it cost me like 900 quid. And he said, well, I'll have a go and leave it with me for a few weeks and I'll see if I can cure it. So I got up at 5:30 this morning and drove to Dartmouth, where I've come to pick up my dinghy. I had a little accident with my dinghy, which I'll tell you about. And I've basically left it with this guy called Edward who mends ribs, and he didn't think he was going to be able to, but he's had the dinghy a few weeks now and he's managed to repair it, and it's still holding air, so fingers crossed. And I've got here quite early. I said I'd meet him at 9 and it's 8:15 in the morning, so I've got to wait about 45 minutes in my car because I just came up here a bit early, but hopefully I'm going to meet him and he'll be able to I give him some money and he's fixed my dinghy, so hopefully that'll last. So Edward turned up and I've got my dinghy here. Stuffed in the car, and so that's one successful job, and now I'm going to head down to the ferry and see if I can get it on the ferry and back to the boat. So like I said, I've just picked up my dinghy, and now as you can see behind me, that is the local ferry, and Stephen's kindly agreed to take my dinghy on it and drop me off to the boat, and that's how I get back on my boat. And it's either Stephen or Caleb, they pick me up and then drop me off at my boat just before we get to Ditson. So this is the repair here, all along there. He put a tape inside as well, so it was split from there to there, and I thought he'd never be able to fix it, but luckily that's the repair. Fingers crossed I won't be stupid and do that again. So I'm making my way back to Dartmouth now. Hopefully I haven't got a parking ticket. I've got to move my car somewhere and find somewhere to park it. Fingers crossed. Anyway, that's the dinghy back in the water and repaired. And hopefully, like I said, I won't be stupid enough to do that again. That evening, we got some visitors who just anchored across from me. And they were all sat out having a sunset meal. And it was a beautiful end to a great day. Got a few things done, and now to think about what I'm going to do next. The next morning started off a bit foggy, but I did have a plan. And some of the boats out there look a bit like ghost ships. So it's a beautiful morning, and I've decided to take the boat out for a bit of a sail this morning. Might get the old kite out today, the larger sail, because it might be lighter winds. I'm not going to go very far today because I've got to head back somewhere else for some work, but yeah, it's going to be a sunny day today anyway, so just going to go out and have a bit of fun and see what happens. So I started the engine this morning, and now I'm here. What I usually do is I take my safety chains off the mooring there. I'll just show you. So I've just got one rope on there, and now I'm just gonna detach the other rope, come off the mooring, and head out to sea. Should be fun. Should be a nice sunny day today, so it should be nice weather, but I don't think the wind's going to be very strong. It was a toss-up to go yesterday, but yesterday it was like too much. It was blowing over 20 knots, and when I got up it just didn't look like it was going to be a fun time. So hopefully today's going to be a bit better. We shall see. Well, I'm motoring out, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of wind. I'm reading 5 knots of wind at the moment, which isn't really good for this boat, but it's a beautiful day, and if nothing else, I'll just go out for a nice little day sail. The sea is flat, as you like. It's like a mill pond out here. So we'll see. Should be. I'll see if I can get the Genaker up later, maybe, if it's light winds. Yeah. But if nothing else, I'm going to catch a bit of sun. As you can see there, it took me a little bit of time. We've just got 9 knots of wind, which is great. That's perfect. We're doing 4 knots speed over ground, and if I can just get the autopilot steady, I think it'll be a pleasant little sail today. Really nice conditions. Well, I don't want to jinx anything, so touch wood, but so far so good. I've managed to get the Genaker up, and we're going along quite nicely now. Got 8 to 10 knots of wind, and I'm doing 4.5 to 5 knots of speed over the water. And it's lovely. It's a tiny little bit rolly now and then, but actually it's not. It's a perfect sail. It's absolutely beautiful. We're going along lovely, toing and froing a little bit, but well, as you probably know, cooking at sea is always a bit of a palaver. The boat's rolling around and things fly everywhere. You're bound to get some food over the floor and yourself at some point, so be very careful when you're dealing with hot stuff. I always like to have something that's sort of pre-prepared, like I'll make a stew or some soup or stuff like that when I'm on passage. Something that's just ready, you can put in a big bowl and get it down you. Today, because I've got the Genaker out, the boat is a little bit flatter. So I have got a gimbaled stove, as you can see here, which rocks like that. And today, yeah, I'm just heating up a bit of soup, and I'm gonna have some bread in a bowl, and that's what I'm gonna have, and that's sort of my breakfast, and I'm gonna have that. And I always find that I don't suffer from seasickness, touch wood, like many people have. I've had it a couple of times and I know how debilitating it can be. But I do find if you have some food in the morning or food on passage, even if it's biscuits or something like that, get something inside of you and it will stop that dreadful mal de mer. Okay, so I'm going to have something to eat now and carry on sailing. So I've only got 7 odd knots, but now, because I've just brought the boat round slightly as I've passed the point, I've got it more on a beam reach now, and the boat is powered up a little bit more, so I'm doing like 5.5, 6 knots. cruising along, 5-6 knots, flat sea. And what I'm actually going to try and do today is maybe just anchor in Salcombe for a little bit, see if I've got the bravery to get my wetsuit on and dive on the boat. It's still a little bit nippy, but if I can just spend half an hour, maybe I can just get a rag and clean the bottom and see how that works out. But it's a gorgeous day so far. I'm glad I put the Genaker up. It's perfect for this wind. I've had maximum of sort of 10-11 knots is the maximum I've had wind speed, and at the moment it's just 6, but I've got a little, like I said, I've got a little bit better angle, and we're flying along 5 or 6 knots in calm sea, flat sea. I mean, if sailing was like this all the time, you know, everyone would be doing it. I mean, I'd be out all the time. What a beautiful day. In fact, the only thing that could possibly make this day any better is if we saw some dolphins. That would be amazing. I haven't seen any this season yet, so I'm due. I saw a few seagulls on the water, and I was hoping, oh, maybe there's some fish about and maybe some dolphins will come, but I haven't seen any yet. But that would be the icing on the cake for today. Otherwise, a perfect day. Well, it doesn't really get more pleasant sailing than this. Flat seas, wind just enough to have me going along at 5 knots. Lovely sunshine. Yeah, beautiful day. And like I said, once I get in to the bay, I'm going to drop the anchor and see if I can dive on the bottom of the boat and see what condition the bottom of the boat is in. See how much, or if any of the silicons come off, and see how the patches, the little patches of anti-foul where the shoves went, that I had to paint over, see how they're doing, see if they've got any fouling on them, and see if I can get some of it off. Gotta be a little bit brave. I will put a wetsuit on, so it should be all right, but the water's going to be a little bit cold. But it should be worth doing. Hopefully get the GoPro down there and have a look. So I've dropped the anchor and I'm literally sitting in, I don't know, maybe a metre or 2 metres of water. But I know the tide is coming up, so this is as low as it's going to get. I'm in a metre of water, or a metre under the bottom of the boat. So in a minute I think I'm going to get my wetsuit on, dive on in and have a look, see what's going on. But it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, sandy beaches, beautiful weather. Yeah, good day to check the bottom, I think. Okay, well, my fever in the water is pretty cold. I think I'm just going to jump in and have a look at the bottom and see what's going on. So I did dive on the boat, got my wetsuit on and my flippers and my snorkel and dove down, and it's pretty good. I was just able, there's a few barnacles and just a bit of algae, and I was able to just wipe that off. There's a few patches where there's a little patch on the rudder where the silicons come away and some around the side, so maybe later this year I'll try and take the boat out of the water and just re-silicon some of those bits, but it came off pretty easy, so the bottom's pretty clean really, so I'm quite happy about that. But that was good. I finally got a look at the bottom, but God, it's freezing in there. I'm really cold now. Thanks everyone for tuning in again. That's about all the time I've got for in this episode, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please press like and subscribe to the channel, really helps me out. And until next time, wishing you fair winds and following seas. Take care, till next time, bye.